We'd like to thank BetChrisCanada.net for their support of the Hockey Betting Podcast. I'm Brian Blessing in sunny Las Vegas.
And I'm Cam Stewart in cold Toronto, Canada.
If you love hockey and you're in Canada, and Cam is, by the All-Star break, even if you can't stop thinking about taking a vacation someplace sunny and warm, but you don't want to miss out on any of the hockey action, look for a BetChris near your next holiday destination.
BetChris is one of the leading sports books in the Western Hemisphere, with hundreds of sports betting locations throughout the Caribbean and Latin America.
Watch the game at a BetChris location. Food and drink specials and VIP lounges are available at many BetChris locations. Use the promo code PODCAST when you open your BetChris account.
Place some bets on your game and collect your cash at the window when the game is over.
BetChris offers single bets, parlay bets, teasers, and more on pregame and live odds for hockey and all your favorite Canadian and American sports leagues. And BetChris offers a variety of team and player props, including futures.
BetChris offers the best value odds on Canadian and international sports. Use the promo code PODCAST when you open up your account at a BetChris location. Deposit $750 or more and get up to a 40% reduced commission on your sports bets, up to minus 106 on single bets and parlay bets. That's the best juice in the biz.
So, if you're planning a trip to exotic locations from the Caribbean and Mexico to Peru and almost everywhere in between, the odds are very good. There's a BetChris Sportsbook where you're going on holiday. For more information about visiting a BetChris location while you're on holiday or to listen to or subscribe to the Hockey Betting Podcast, visit BetChrisCanada.net. That's BetChrisCanada.net. Cam, you're Canadian. When you leave Canada and you're heading south, use the promo code PODCAST.
You're listening to the Hockey Betting Podcast, presented by BetChrisCanada.net. This is the Hockey Betting Preview for Monday, December 9th, 2019. And now, live from Las Vegas, the host of the Hockey Betting Podcast, Brian Blessing.
Time to get another week in the NHL underway and time to have a couple of laughs and get you a couple of winners, if not more. That's the master plan. The Hockey Betting Podcast. Brian Blessing in Las Vegas, north of the border, the one, the only, our dear buddy, Cam Stewart. Cam, I love this sport. I love this sport, buddy, more than anything. And it's no knock on any individual player or any individual team, but these are the things, if you go back and you listen to the podcast we've been doing now since the start of the season, there are just situations that a goalie can stand on his head and change things around. That's going to happen. But we spent Tuesday and Thursday last week, Cam, talking about teams wanting to get a road trip off to a good start. And we've talked about the best bets on cards are big underdogs when they're taking on a team that's coming home after a long cross-country road trip. And the Rangers smoke Vegas 5-0. Vegas is a $2 favorite, and they threw the sink at the Rangers in the first 10 minutes. Georgiev stood on his head, and then the Rangers just lit him up. And it's just, and again, it has nothing to do with the Rangers or the Golden Knights, insert Team X and Team Y. We just love this sport because the situations are there that just stick out like a sore thumb.
No, you're right, Brian. Good on you for taking the reverse puck line too, guys. And if you really got the kahunas like Double B over here, that's what you do in those situations. And I was doing a lot of other things. I had a little piece of the Rangers, but not like you, Brian. But I'll tell you something too. I don't know what it is about hockey. Like, yeah, you can't explain it. Why do the Sabres beat San Jose? I don't know. There's nothing to do with Buffalo and San Jose. But
why do Buffalo and Anaheim? Buffalo and Anaheim, Cam.
Yeah.
By the way, I got to look that up. That's coming up. When Buffalo and Anaheim play, give sticks and knives and guns. They hate each other. It's a brawl game every year. This has been going on for a decade. I mean, it's all different players, but when Getzlaf's been there forever. When they get together, I mean, literally, don't take children to the game.
Don't put the baby with the earmuffs. No. Yeah, no, it's unbelievable, Brian. And I don't know what it is, too. Another thing that I've noticed, Sundays. It's just one of those weird days. All the other sports calendars are on. A lot of NHL underdogs on Sunday get things done. Like it's just a weird night. I don't know what it is, but man, you talk about it too. And trends in this sport just keep on happening again. If I was the Rangers, I'd start Georgiev a hell of a lot. I know it's King Henrik Lundqvist, but this Georgiev guy, man, when he gets hot, Brian, he gets real hot. And Buffalo, no doubt. Another thing that I like to do is I like to come back to a team after a heartbreaking loss. The Sabres got robbed in Vancouver. I thought Eichel's goal should have counted, but you know what? Then they come back in Edmonton and they get it done, and they were what, plus 60 cents there too. So big underdogs, buddy.
Yeah, it's amazing we get these opportunities here. I'll throw one at you tonight. We're going off the rotation. Colorado's on a heater. All right, they've won 7 in a row. Coming home from a 3-game road trip, played Toronto, Montreal 1-3-1, beat Montreal 3-2.
Yep.
Beat the Bruins 4-1.
Beat the Leafs, Canadians, Bruins. Yeah.
All right, but now they're back home, and they're laying $1.55 to Calgary, who's gotten a short-term, and maybe it's more than a short-term, bounce in their step after the Bill Peters situation, and they're kind of right back in the discussion again for the long haul. And the monster injury, if a guy was going to be worth, McKinnon obviously is just insane.
I think he's one of the best players in the league, if not the best player.
But if another guy was going to be worth something in relation to the wagering line, it would be the Cale Makar kid, and he's hurt, and their goaltender Grubauer's hurt. And Colorado's laying $1.55 tonight. Come on. It's Calgary all day long. I'm
with you.
I think Colorado's the better team, but the situation, it's just a repeat of what we just saw yesterday in Vegas, plus injury.
And I like what I saw. I'll tell you something too. Another thing in hockey. Why does LA always beat Calgary? And it almost happened. They got off to a 2-0 lead. Brian, you saw the game. These guys, Doughty wants to kill everybody. They got big rivalries there. Those teams hate each other. And Calgary, they're showing some guts coming back. You're absolutely correct. They're on a little bit of a heater right now. I'm getting 40 cents with a team feeling good about themselves. When I looked at the board, the first thing I said is, because I always look for dogs first, the Flames were the first team that I looked at too. So who's starting for Colorado? Francouz? I guess he gets to start tonight. If they put in Big Save Dave at plus 140, it's going to be a major play for me, Brian.
I don't know. I mean, the point is, and this is not an indictment of anybody. I mean, we should shut our big mouth, but that doesn't work when you're doing a podcast.
Nope.
But it's a horrible number. You know what I mean? No one has. It's such a no-brainer that, can Colorado win a game? Sure
they can.
But this number should be 35, 30.
Yeah, I would have made Colorado $1.35, 40 tops, not $1.60, and that's tops. So no, I see a lot of value with Calgary. You got an opinion of the total of this game? The Flames, they're starting to score some goals. No, you're just gonna deal with the side tonight. I think a side.
Rittich is playing good.
Yep,
he's playing very good. The Francouz guy, you might get a short-term bounce in your step, but be very cognizant of the fact here that in the short term, I mean, Colorado went through a snap where they lost great player after great player and kept winning. I mean, this is a really good team. They're extremely well coached. It's not a contest to me who the better team is, but it's just not even anything to consider other than Calgary in this particular spot.
Yeah, no, I'm on the Flames. It's a small card, Brian, but I'm with you too. No, it's an absolutely beautiful, beautiful situation. And you said it. Can Colorado win? Yes. They're a talented team. Also, another thing, though, after beating the likes of good teams too, they didn't beat a bunch of cupcakes there. When you go in and beat Boston, you've done your job. I'll tell you one thing. It's kind of like adrenaline. Sometimes you come back and after a while you go, oh, okay, you can breeze through it. In the Boston game, they did, but I see this team as a tired team coming home after a great trip, feeling good about themselves, dealing with life. And you know what? I'm 100% on it, buddy. Calgary is the play. Win or lose, it has to be played tonight.
All right. There's another one, bud. I mean, kind of perusing this stuff. I mean, it's not like, oh, boy, gee, thanks. You like Boston over Ottawa, aren't you, a rocket scientist? Well, yeah, but let me tell you something. I like Boston minus 1.5 over Ottawa, plus $1.35. Ottawa is, what did we just get done saying to you? They had, look at this trip, 2-4, a 5-game road trip, lost 7, and I like Ottawa, honestly. They play hard, they compete. They lost 7-2 at Minnesota, lost 3-1 at Calgary, lost 5-2 at Vancouver, beat Edmonton, and then lost Philly to Philly 4-3. It's their first game home from a 5-game road trip, and the Bruins are off back-to-back losses. You're telling me Boston's not winning this game 5-1?
Yeah,
6-1,
yeah.
6-2. Come on.
They brought their D game and still beat Ottawa 2-0 the last time they played, and they weren't even like they looked awful in that game, and they still won. Yeah, I gotta like it. Boston $1.90. You parlay it. You put them on the puck line -1.5 plus 140. I agree. You want to do the dirty 2-step with Calgary too. Boston Calgary parlay to major plus money. You can even do that, Brian. Hell, you like Calgary maybe on the reverse puck line with Boston -1.5 and blow up the tote board there like Brian does with his ponies. But anyway, Boston has
Junior.
to be Boston.
Go, Junior.
Go, Junior. No, he's in traffic. No, give me Boston. Give me Boston. I'll take the Bruins -190 with the Flames.
I'm not going near this.
What? The Islanders and Lightning?
No, the other one.
Or Columbus and Washington. Yeah,
Columbus. Oh boy.
When I see CLB or CBJ, Columbus is a weird team.
230 total.
Too
6.
much. If you want to put it in parlays for those, as my buddy Gamblu says, those parlay playing pukes. Yeah, you could put that in if you want to, intensify the parlay. But I have no business laying 230 with Washington.
God.
Columbus is. I don't even know what to think.
All right,
about Columbus.
Wait a minute. Columbus has lost what? 4 in a row?
Yeah. So your feelings? Are you feeling?
No, Kim. I mean, we can't sit there and shoot fireworks in the sky and then ignore this. The Caps at Detroit, at San Jose, at the Kings, at the Ducks, 4-0 on a road trip. First game home from the long cross-country road trip. I mean, we just sat here and said the situation. And
you can't do it with every. You can.
Yeah,
you can. I could tell you one thing tonight.
And Torts is
what are we looking at here?
He's got Torts guys locked in the basement of the hotel.
Oh yeah. Torts. It's like where's the play? Oh, you chained him to the wall. Come on. Torts is like a dungeon master. No. I'll tell you something though, Brian. The way I'm looking at this, what are we looking at here? Usually we'll take a salami under. I love the deli. We like visiting teams tonight. Calgary, Boston, Columbus. Like, you know what I mean? A lot of visitors I think are going to make the card. So I don't mind a little sprinkle. If you want if you want a little sprinkle on Columbus, Brian, you're the type of guy just going up against Washington. They're the one team that could buck the trend. They're just a very good hockey team.
I'm still going to stay away. But if you want just something that in cement tells you that angle is just the gold mine of all gold mines, if Columbus were to ever win that game tonight.
Yeah. Imagine this, Brian. Like, look at the numbers. +190 CBJ, Calgary +140, Boston -1.5 +140, man. These things come in, you blow up the tote board. Your wife wanted you to go, instead of going down to the grocery store at CVS and getting some bad earrings, you can go to Zales. What I love about the holidays too, these holiday commercials make me feel like a loser. It's like, hey honey, I got one for you and one for me. Yeah, 2 trucks for Christmas. Like, I'll be lucky to get oranges in my stocking. Like, are you kidding me? We're buying 2 trucks anyway. If we hit winners, we can upgrade. Let's put it that way.
The minute that girl would look at me when I bought her a truck and she said, I like the blue one.
Yeah.
I'd be looking at it going,
I say, no, you like Uber.
No, I would be saying, take the red truck and get the hell out of here.
Yeah, exactly. Speed it. I don't have to worry about my gambling. Are you looking over my shoulder? Leave, baby. Take the truck.
Yeah.
Wait
a minute. If the Peloton commercial can become this big social injustice thing, right? You've heard about this, right? The Peloton thing?
Oh, yeah. Everyone's talking Peloton. $5,000 for a treadmill that yells at me.
Yeah, and then the guy gets the thing for the girl, and then the read between the lines is, he wants her to be skinny. And then the guy's an axe murderer because he bought her a Peloton. I mean, but the other girl can stand there and snub the guy who just bought her a truck.
Excellent.
Get off the hook.
We let her off the hook. We know who she was. I love you, buddy. So what are we doing tonight? Are you actually going to put Columbus on the card? Do you have that much?
No, you know what? I like what we started with. I like Calgary. I like Boston on the
so
puck.
Do I.
The Islanders Tampa Bay game, I would lean under the total of 6. Now, Tampa Bay is all of a sudden got the goals going, but you look who they played at a conference game.
Islanders can't score on the road. They got shut out by Dallas. They're having real problems.
And they can defend. I kind of
sure can. Yeah, I like the under 6 too. I would lean that way. I'd actually kind of look at the Islanders, but not very impressed by their play recently. I don't want to lay 175 with Tampa Bay. I can tell you that. But if anything in this game, you'd take. I think the under 6 is well worth a look. Probably a 3-1 type of win for Tampa Bay.
For outstanding information and special offerings and promotions, we invite you and encourage you to sign up for our newsletter today simply by going to the website betchriscanada.net. All right, our Tuesday schedule is loaded, and it starts with Tampa Bay playing back-to-back nights. Now, the travel is a nothing burger, but it's Tampa at Florida.
Florida's figured it out.
Florida, no, they're playing good for Quinville, I would think. And I'm doing a little peek because you got Vasilevsky tonight. Oh, boy. Well, he's not a ham sandwich, but it'll be McElhaney.
No,
tomorrow.
McElhaney's tonight. I can tell you. I'll tell you one thing.
Did they flip it around?
Yeah, they flipped it around. I got McElhaney confirmed tonight on my app, and I got Vasilevsky confirmed tomorrow. Confirmed. No way. That under is off the card with McElhaney. I might even bet the Islanders. I might make it a 4-burger tonight with dogs.
I don't know where
Columbus,
you're looking.
Islanders, Boston, and Calgary.
Well, let me ask you, where are you looking for the goalies? I'm on goalie post, and they've got Vasilevsky probable. You've got confirmed McElhaney?
Yeah, on my score app. But anyway, we'll go to left wing lock too.
Well, to me that makes all the difference in the world.
Oh, it sure does. This is another thing, guys. I know sometimes I get lazy too when a lot of other sports are going on. You're just like betting it. Like I got to make sure I get it in this habit all the time. Always check because things change. Yeah, McElhaney confirmed. Varlamov projected. So that's what I got on left wing lock too, Brian. That's a very good site for goalies. So I got Holtby for the Capitals, Korpisalo confirmed. I got Nilsson for the Senators, Tuukka Rask projected, Big Save Dave projected, and Grubauer projected. So I thought he was hurt, but he is projected for Colorado. So anyway, that's what I got listed right now.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, but I honestly, keep tabs on that. Yeah, because Grubauer went out, but did come back to the bench.
Correct. So he
doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, he's ready to rock.
But the Makar thing, we got to watch for that. They said they'd have an update today or tomorrow. That's a big injury.
Oh, big time. Makar, this guy, Hobie Baker winner. Like that's the thing about Colorado. He's next to McKinney. He's probably their most important player on the blue line there. No, Cale Makar is fantastic. And if he's out for a while, that makes Calgary even more, as we talked about before, more lucrative at that price.
Well, and you know what? In the short term, the reaction to that, you think, oh, Makar, he's got all these points. He's a defenseman. You know what? I think when he's out, I think it makes him an over team in the short term. Because he won't.
They're going to have to play offense, right?
Well, they're not going to get it out of their own end with the level of consistency with this kid. So they're going to get cycled a lot. And the other teams are going to score more. And believe me, McKinnon is going to do his damage at the other end. I think Makar's absence, even though you're losing a bunch of points, actually may make the games even higher scoring.
No, I agree with that too. No, that's true. I'm with it, Brian. Yeah, that's the thing, man. It's so I'll tell you one thing. If with the Tampa Bay goaltending situation there, with McElhaney going, that changes everything for me. Like McElhaney. Oh man, like he's just one of those guys. You can't trust him. Like you in any type of situation. So yeah, that under is definitely going to change for me. I might actually take the Islanders in the over. That's the difference between Vasilevsky and him. It's a big difference. But
you know what? I think we just stick with the two that we liked.
Okay,
there's a lot of gray areas. But we go to tomorrow. We love Tuesdays. You get the monster slate of games.
Your Buffalo Sabres are in a bad situation that we don't like, though.
I know.
Western Canada back playing a St. Louis Blues team that got pummeled by the Leafs. That's a bad spot for Buffalo.
By the way, keep tabs on this. Buffalo actually is an over team now. The game didn't get there last night. And Eichel now has a 13-game point streak.
Awesome.
He's the hottest player in the league, and it took overtime for him to get a point to keep that streak alive. But obviously, there's like a hidden little thing in there. I mean, don't kid yourself. Buffalo, they're at Edmonton. They lose the night before, and then they got to play. They're walking into a buzzsaw. You know what? It's Eichel and McDavid. You don't think that this guy that's such a motivator that you got to be able to read between the lines in some of these games. So now here you got the Blues. You got Ryan O'Reilly coming in here. Now, you always want to play well there. The one thing with Buffalo you should watch for, Carter Hutton right now can't stop a medicine ball.
Oh, he's awful. Allmark is clearly the number one. And Brian, I'll give you credit for calling it. Like back in the day, I used to think it was kind of 1A and 1B and watching Sabres hockey. It's not. Allmark is so much better than Hutton. Hutton's barely a National Hockey League goaltender now. He's awful.
And Allmark is, he's been really his numbers don't look good. His numbers are amazing. The 10 bell chances this guy's facing every night. Oh, good Lord. All right. Hey, I would say to you, we're singing the praises of Calgary tonight. I'd be looking long and hard at Arizona against Calgary tomorrow. Back-to-back nights. I like this Coyotes team.
So do I.
They tend to be a little too streaky for my liking, but they just beat
Chicago.
Oh no, Cam, we can't do it.
Back to Chicago and Arizona. You're against yourself.
Well, exactly. Their first game home from a 4-game road trip, they went 3-1 on the road trip. This Arizona team's really, really good. And then, you know what? Play the under. Play the under in that game. Although back-to-back nights.
Yeah.
Oh boy, Talbot's 2-5.
Yeah, no, Talbot struggles. Like Edmonton was happy to get rid. Edmonton's kind of like Buffalo. They figured out their goaltending situation. I don't understand why they put Mike Smith in. It's obviously I think Koskinen is 100 times better, but that's my opinion. And these guys keep on rolling out these old goaltenders that I don't think are very, very good. But anyway, Arizona's a young team though, Brian. You don't know how they're going to respond there. I got to tell you something. If your old buddy Leonard didn't stand on his head, they would have murdered Chicago in that game. He made some saves that were just saves of the year type of stuff. But Arizona is one of those teams, man, they can come back from a trip and Calgary's on a back-to-back. I'd be wary of this game.
Tell me in your neck of the woods, because, it's anywhere they go when the Leafs are playing. They've got, insane fan support. But they're going to be at Vancouver. What is it like? Because you watch the Leafs, really every game. What's it like when they go to another Canadian city and they go out to Vancouver?
It's good. It's good.
Insane,
there'll be Leaf fans there. Vancouver, I would say, out of all the buildings on the West, it's probably the least, hardcore compared to Calgary and Edmonton. I think they have more, visceral hate for the Leafs. There'll be Leaf fans there that transplanted themselves west. Toronto looked really good against St. Louis in that game. I bet them that night. I wish I had the reverse puck line like you, Brian, and the things that you do there. I was just happy that they beat the Blues. They really beat up Binnington in that game. But I'll tell you, Vancouver, they get motivated when they play Toronto. It's one of those things. It's like, the big bad Leafs are coming to town, and their players really. I remember when Vancouver was horrible, they used to play Toronto tough. Now they're decent, and they're also feeling a little bit. They're feeling pretty good about themselves. The Leafs are a better team. I'll probably take them in this spot, but I would definitely look for one thing in this game: the over. Even with the goaltenders there, I think every time, from my recollection, Toronto and Vancouver, when they get together, it's usually fireworks. I could see like a 6-4 game. Vancouver scoring and giving up goals too, and the Leafs have found their scoring touch. Over.
See, that's so disconcerting for me because I love you like a brother. But there are times I love you, and I think of you as this lovable idiot.
Your adopted son?
No, I know you're a lovable idiot, right?
Yeah.
But you and I think the same way. That means I'm an idiot.
Hey, or maybe we're geniuses, Brian. No, we're definitely not.
But you said it before I asked the question. I was going to say to you, is there a chance? Would there be a total of 7 in the Vancouver-Toronto game was going to be the question I was going to ask.
Yeah. And if it's 6.5, we're going over. And I don't like to go over in those games, but I don't think they're going to post a 7 in this game. I think it'll be 6.5, 30, 40 cents to the over. And we're going to have to drink the juice, Brian. Tropicana time, buddy. Grab some of your Ricola vodka and get ready, buddy. Breakfast with Brian. Well, we're going to drink the juice. I'm taking it. If it stays at 6.5, we're in.
anything else on Tuesday's card?
What about Vegas? After getting beat down by the Rangers, the Blackhawks beat them down too. This could be a revenge spot for Vegas. Isn't Fleury coming back?
What I would say is, and by the way, that will be when he starts, it'll be like a really emotional thing.
It will be.
And they went with Subban in the game against the Rangers, and it was no great knock on him. He played well on the road trip. They want to get Fleury a practice under his belt and ease him back in to the point where I thought it wouldn't have been a bad idea, to be honest with you, when you were down 4-0, put Fleury in last night in the third period just to, get some work.
Get him warmed up.
And because that game was lost, they didn't do that. You know what? Chicago beat them 5-3 in here, whatever it was, 3 weeks ago. I don't see anything changing here. I like it over.
Yeah, and I'll tell you one thing: Vegas is going to score on Chicago. They've been very lax defensively.
Crawford, as has Vegas been.
Yeah, as has Vegas, exactly. They'll post a 6.5 there, and yeah, it looks like those West Coast games those nights. The Leafs Vancouver game over, and the Vegas Chicago game. It looks like. Brian, we're off to the deli again after our vodka and orange juice breakfast. We're going to go pick up a big salami stick. Uh-oh. Lots of sodium.
I agree. Lots of goals tomorrow.
Salami. Yeah, especially in those West Coast games. So Rangers, Kings, I don't really have an opinion of. Probably a good spot to take the Kings. Heartbreaking losses. They're at home. Rangers feeling good about themselves after beating
But
Vegas.
the Rangers just scored 5. The Kings lose 4-3 at Calgary. Even in a game that you could say, Lundqvist and Quick. I mean, they could score 6 goals in that game. I think that adds.
Lundqvist and Quick, that makes me want to take the over more.
That adds. I like your salami there.
Yeah, that salami's delicious, buddy. I'll make a sandwich for you too. And we're hitting the deli. Salami's for everyone.
And then Wednesday game. One of the games of the week, right? Boston and Washington. We'll see how Washington reacts to that first game home.
They lose to Columbus. Who knows what's going to happen there? They'll be angry against Boston. Ottawa, Montreal probably take the Canadiens in that spot, even though those Ottawa plays Montreal tough, but it's also a revenge spot, Brian. Remember, Ottawa beat them earlier a couple weeks ago. I think we were on Ottawa that night as a nice pooch. Philly and Colorado. You could make that total 7. I'd probably still take the over.
All right, there you go. He's Cam Stewart. I'm Brian Blessing. We got you covered on ice. The Hockey Betting Podcast got you covered through Wednesday. Back with you on Thursday. Looking forward to a heavy slate of games and the weekend in the NHL.
You've been listening to the Hockey Betting Podcast, presented by BetChrisCanada.net.
For outstanding information and special offerings and promotions, we invite you and encourage you to sign up for our newsletter today simply by going to the website, BetChrisCanada.net.
The handicapping and sports odds information contained on this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Please confirm the wagering regulations in your jurisdiction as they vary from state to state, province to province, and country to country. Using this information to contravene any law or statute is prohibited. The podcast is not associated with, nor is it endorsed by any professional or collegiate league, association, or team. This podcast does not target and is not intended for an audience under the age of 18. If you think that you have a gambling addiction, stop this podcast now and please seek help.
Gambling and betting on sports is a form of entertainment and should be about having a good time. But when done excessively, it may negatively affect other areas of a person's life. such as their physical and mental health, school or work performance, finances, and or interpersonal relationships. At BetChrisCanada.net and the Hockey Betting Podcast, we're concerned about the addiction that gambling may cause, and for this reason, we encourage everyone to practice responsible gambling, an approach to gambling that helps you ensure that it remains an enjoyable activity. Here are the main principles of responsible gambling. Don't think of gambling as a way to make money. Always gamble with money that you can afford to lose. Set limits and stick to them. Never chase losses. Don't gamble when you're depressed or upset, and create a healthy balance. Always be aware of how much time you spend gambling or thinking about gambling, and do not allow gambling to cause you to miss out on time with family and friends or time spent on other activities you enjoy. By following these guidelines, gambling can be a good time and great entertainment. If you feel at any time that your gambling is taking away from important areas of your life, is causing you stress or depression, or is leading to financial losses that are beyond your control, please reach out for help. Learn more at responsiblegambling.org.